present with you a bit, guide you through the agenda of today. So there will be indeed a quick introduction where I will also I give you some insights on the Green Hysland project. And then there will be a presentation from NRC, Katarina Bouchard, and she will present the program, what it entails, and how to apply practically to this program. And after this, we will showcase our newest version of the tool. There is a mistake in this agenda that I've just noticed. The webinar is meant to be 1 hour and 30 minutes, so it will finish at 16:30 as always foreseen and promoted. There will be time for you to have questions. So there will be a Q&A session of 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So before we proceed, I would like to indeed present some of these housekeeping rules for this webinar of today. So first of all, reminding you that the webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be shared with you after within the follow-up emails afterwards. Please mute yourself during the webinar. You can also keep the video on or off. That's up to you, but please mute yourself if you're not speaking. During the discussion slot, please raise your hand and wait for me to give you the floor. We would like, since this webinar is meant to be very interactive, and we would like to give you all the information possible. Whenever you have already a question coming to your mind, please write it down in the chat, and a colleague of ours working in Federem will is responsible also to answer these questions, and in any case we will select these questions afterwards anyway. Slides and recordings will be available and shared with you within 2 weeks. So with this follow-up email, we will present to you everything. So that being said, I would like to continue by quickly understanding who you are here in the poll. It's important for us to understand this. So we would like you to quickly respond to this poll to understand who you are, which group of stakeholders you are part of. And that's useful also for us as speakers to tailor this presentation based on the people and that are here today. So maybe take a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds to reply. And after this, most of the people are, I don't know if you can see the results. Yes, most of the people are from industry. We have also some policymakers, some investors, civil society as well, scientific community. So that's useful to see this. Please continue to fill it in if you haven't done yet. And after this, we know that from the registrations, some of you have also are part of islands, are here as representative of islands. So we would like to understand if any one of you is here representing an island, to share with us which island you are from. So of course, this is not applicable to everyone, but it's just to understand a bit the audience. If you are representing an island, where are you from here? No. Many people are not island members, but we have already various islands actually. That's great. So people from all around the world: Azores, Fuego, Puerto Rico, Guadalupe, UK. UK is also an island, makes sense. Azores, Madeira, Terceira. Okay, we also have the Portuguese islands there. Okay, that's great. French Polynesia, Chile. Okay. Thank you for answering, and you can continue answering in the chat. But now I will very quickly introduce you to the Green Hysland project. Will be very quick, and then give the floor to my colleague Caterina. So the Green Hysland project, this is a quick overview of our project. As you can see, some highlights. It was started in January 2021. It will, and it's meant to be, it's an Horizon Europe project that is meant to last 5 years, but we are extending it. We received 10 million funding from the Clean Hydrogen Partnership, but in total this project is about 23 million euros. And our coordinator is Enagas Renovable. And please mute yourself if you are joining. Thanks. And we have 34 partners involved. And now I would like to explain to you very quickly in pills what the Green Hydrogen Valley is about. Green Hysland Hydrogen Valley is about. So the first step is basically there is a hydrogen production plant, and this is located in Cemex land in Lloseta, in a city, small city of Mallorca, the island of Mallorca. This hydrogen production plant is basically connected to two solar photovoltaic plants that are producing the electricity, and then through this producing the hydrogen. There are also there will be hydrogen refueling stations, and we are foreseeing also 5 fuel cell buses and also other light vehicles powered by hydrogen for this. Then the third part that it's important for you to know about Green Hysland is if it's okay. Perfect. The hydrogen pipeline, because there is a dedicated hydrogen pipeline for this project. But of course, we have also developed an injection point, because the hydrogen produced and transmitted, it's also being transmitted through blending through the natural gas pipeline. So that's part of also the Green Hysland project. So it is including indeed production through solar panels, and this transmission through dedicated hydrogen pipeline injection points, applications of hydrogen such as the hydrogen refueling stations for mobility, and then we have foreseen 4 end users after the distribution, which are specifically 1 port terminal, 1 hotel, 1 municipal building, and multiple natural gas users in general for the hydrogen that is blended. That being said, those are some pictures of the hydrogen valley. That you can see the solar PV plants, the hydrogen production plant, the injection point, and also the buses that are already there. And with this in mind, we would like to continue the presentation, and I give the floor to my colleague Caterina, explaining a bit what this technical support program is about.
Yes, thank you very much for the introduction, Christian, and welcome to everybody. Let me share my screen so you can see the presentation, hopefully.
We can see it.
Yeah, can you see the first slide? Perfect. So yes, hello everybody. My name is Caterina Bouchard. I'm the managing director of NSC, who is one of the companies that are organizing and running this technical support program that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I want to present the program and also the procedure of how you can actually apply for it in this. So just a few words to introduce my company. So NSC is a leader in hydrogen energy project development. We have specialized on green hydrogen ecosystems in particular, also known as hydrogen valleys. And our mission as a company is to enable the sustainable energy transition through the use of and adoption of green hydrogen in different in industry, built environment, and transport. So in terms of the technical assistance program, let me just give you a bit of a background. So Christian's already explained a little bit about the Green Hysland project to you, but to just put into context where this program now is coming from, the technical assistance program. So we have, as part of the project, of the Green Hysland project, we have the opportunity to help up to a maximum of 10 islands that are not currently part of the project, to basically help you develop your own green hydrogen project idea. It could be a green hydrogen more simple project, or it could be a more complex, sort of more what we call ecosystem project, where there might be multiple applications for hydrogen, also known as a hydrogen valley or hydrogen island in sort of the technical terms. And so we can help you basically develop your project concept or project idea that you have in order to move forward your project to the next stage. Since this is part of the Green Hysland project, which is co-financed by the EU, by the Clean Hydrogen Partnership, this technical assistance program is completely free to anybody who is able to take this up and who would be selected. And so, yeah, it's a great opportunity, we think, for new projects to be developed, and we really hope that there's going to be a good response to this. And yeah, though how it works in more detail, I will explain to you in just a minute. Now, in terms of the applications of green hydrogen, the focus is on local transport, maritime solutions, which of course are very important in an island context, for ferry transport between islands or between the island and the mainland is a crucial link. Usually energy systems and buildings could also be a usage of the hydrogen, as well as storage, both inside buildings. In Green Hysland, we've got it, for example, being demonstrated inside a hotel as backup power. It could also be used in an industrial context if there is industry on the island, or indeed in a wider touristic context. So again, like what Christian was mentioning, we have in the Green Hysland project example, we have hydrogen being used for rental cars on the island. So that's a potential usage of hydrogen in a touristic context. So apart from basically what we will do inside the technical support program is really to help you develop a pre-feasibility assessment of your project concept. But not only that, there are also more benefits by taking part in the technical support program. So you will get access to the latest news and also invitation to events that we may be running inside Green Hysland. You may be invited to speak at events or even co-organize events together with us. So it could give you a good platform also to make your project known to a wider community, as we have already been building quite a large network of partners that we're working with over the last, 4 years now that the Green Hysland project has been running. Plus, of course, we have a consortium of over 30 partners inside the Green Hysland project itself. So even inside the consortium is already quite a big network of partners that you would be able to tap into. You will also get, as a beneficiary of the technical support program, access to the Hydrogen Territories platform and the HTP tool, which we will explain to you in a little bit more detail in just a little while. My colleagues from the Aragon Hydrogen Foundation will do that. And indeed, the HTP tool will be a key tool and that we will be using for this technical assistance program. The support is provided by both ourselves at NSC and the Aragon Hydrogen Foundation. Both of our organizations have considerable experience in developing and also implementing hydrogen islands and hydrogen valleys. You can see some examples here on the screen of some of the valleys that we have been involved in, both in the development of the project, so of actually preparing the project concept, as well as we have also done funding applications for some of these or most of these, and we are involved in terms of being actually involved in the implementation of these projects as well. So we have really got the full picture in terms of how to develop a concept, how to make it work from a conceptual point of view, from a technical point of view, and then also go into the implementation phase. So now, how does the program work? The first step is the selection process. So the first thing that anybody who is interested in being part of this technical assistance program, so any island that has a concept that they would like to move forward, we invite you to fill in your expression of interest by the 16th of May. So you have just a little bit less than 2 months from now to do so, to give you some time to consult with your any internal partners that you may have. Yeah, just express your interest. This is non-committing. It's just a relatively short survey that sort of gives us a little bit of a background of sort of what your project is about. You've got the link there on the screen, so you can go on that now. We'll also share it in the chat. And we'll, of course, we'll send you the presentations after the webinars, so you can find the link again and yeah, and basically fill in the form. So once the expressions of interest are in, we will then select 10 islands, and that will be based on a certain set of criteria, which I will go into in a minute. And the selection will be done by the technical support team of the Green Hysland Foundation and by ourselves and Federen. Now, the second part of the program is then the actual technical support that we will provide to you. So how does that work? The first step is that the 10 islands that have been selected, so those the beneficiaries, as we call them, of the technical support program, will be invited to a group online workshop where you will be explained the HTP tool in more detail, so you understand more the capacities of that tool and how it can help you to prepare a pre-feasibility assessment for your project. And we will also organize on a bilateral basis with each island up to 3 bilateral mentoring sessions to get more information about your project and to help you design basically the project itself. We will also then prepare as a next step, we'll analyze the project concept on a written part using the HTP tool and prepare a written pre-feasibility assessment for you. We will then put that together in a final report, which will include some recommendations that you can use for the further development of your project. So we hope this will really be a good, useful package for you to take with you and move your project forward. So this entire process is, as I mentioned, only going to be able by having some selection criteria in place. If we have, which we hopefully have, more than 10 applicants to the program. So we have put in place a few selection criteria for selecting the 10 islands. The first one is quite obvious. So we just want to have a bit of an idea of the hydrogen project concept you have on your island. So we just ask you for a short description of the concept. This really doesn't have to go into any huge detail, but it's really just to have an idea of the kind of thinking that you're having about the project at this point. The second criteria is to see if you've got any partners involved already. Are you working with local authorities, for example? Are you working with industry? Are you working with transport providers? Any kind of actors that may be relevant in actually getting your project off the ground? Does the island that you're working on have access to renewable energy sources is the third criterion, because we do want to focus on green hydrogen projects, so hydrogen that is produced through renewable sources. So what are the capacities either for local production on the island or perhaps offshore? It could also be through kind of links through the mainland. So we'll have to see what of course, on a case-by-case basis, what the individual situation is. But that would be the general idea would be to have at least some access in some shape or form, or the potential to have access to renewable energy sources in order to develop and generate green hydrogen. The fourth criterion, which actually maybe should have been the first one, your project needs to be located inside the EU. However, we do include overseas countries and territories and also overseas regions. So the EU isn't just constrained to the physical, geographical European Union, the European continent, I'm trying to say, but rather to territories that are also associated to the EU. So the OCTs and the ORs. The fifth criterion is, and that is a mandatory criterion, is the membership on the Hydrogen Territories platform. That is a membership you can get for free if you don't have it yet. I assume that most people won't have it yet, but it's easy and quick to do it. It's a very small form that we ask you to fill in on the hydrogen-territory.eu website. Again, Guglielmo, if you can share the link maybe for that one as well, that would be handy in the chat. Finally, it would be also great to see if there was any kind of strategy that the island already has in terms of developing green hydrogen or sustainable energy on the territory. Just to see if there is basically a bigger sort of political framework, a bigger political aim already on the island, or if it's an island group and the group of islands that might be in place or that might be in planning. So this is not a knockout criterion, let's say, but it is. It would be advantageous if there was such a strategy. Now, the timeline for the technical support program is as follows. You will see here on the screen that we have so the expression of interest must be submitted by the 16th of May. This is a Friday. Then by June, we are hoping to select the 10 beneficiary islands and make initial contact with them. By July, we're hoping to have the final confirmations of everybody's participation in the program, so of those islands that have been selected. And after the summer holidays, we would like to kick off the program and start by September with the group workshop, followed by the individual bilateral one-to-one assistance that we provide between ourselves and the FHA to the beneficiaries with individual email support, which we can provide on an ad hoc basis, and then the up to 3 mentoring sessions. The whole program will last about 6 months. So by February 2026, we're hoping to be completed with all activities. And at that point, you will then, as beneficiary island, receive your final report with recommendations that you can take with you and hopefully be able to move forward your project on the basis of the recommendations that we make for you. So why should you participate in the program? Well, the big advantage of this, it's a tailored support for your particular island and for your particular sustainable energy project that you may have. We focus on green hydrogen as a sustainable energy solution, and it can, of course, hydrogen could be a good solution for certain islands to contribute to the energy independence of your islands. So we believe that it's a good solution for developing on islands in general. And we would like to support you with that. And we have the opportunity through the Green Hysland project, as I mentioned, to provide you the support for free, which on islands which are often strapped for cash and have limited financial means, we're hoping that this will be a useful initiative. You can, of course, benefit from then our expertise and guidance from both NSC and the Green Hydrogen Foundation, and take advantage of our knowledge and experience that we have. We have over 20 years of experience in the field of hydrogen and hydrogen deployment projects. So yes, we'd be very happy to help you on this. So if you're interested in receiving this free tailored technical assistance, then you can apply here. I'll leave you the link there, as I said, where the apply here hyperlink is. There will be also it'll be a clickable link to the application form, the expression of interest form, or you can scan the QR code that you see here on the screen right now using your phone. You can do that right now. And yes, as I said, the deadline is Friday, the 16th of May. So yes, please feel free to send us your expressions of interest. And if you have any questions, please send them to H2V it's Hydrogeno Aragon, so hydrogen with an I, an O, and then aragon.org. You've got the email address there. So if you could send us any questions you might have, if you're not quite sure, please send them there. Or indeed, you can leave any questions now in the chat as well, so we can collect them and answer them later on in the Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katarina. So just for you to know, the link will be shared again with you for if in case you haven't scanned the QR code, and also the email. So all the information will be shared again with you after this webinar is finished. So do not worry. And so now I give the floor with our practical presentation to Alberto Herranz from FHA. And also our colleagues joining from Hydrogen Chile. Together, they will present not only how the Hydrogen Territories platform tool works, but also the practical applications coming indeed from the Hydrogen Chile case study. So, Alberto, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Christian. I will share my screen. It's saying now?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. As Christian said, I'm from Aragon Hydrogen Foundation. I'm software developer, and I'm going to present you the HTP tool that we has been developing, and also a real case of study in Tierra del Fuego, Chile. Here, first of all, giving a very short technical presentation about the tool. This is developed in Excel, but also in Python, where all the modeling has been developed here in Hydrogen Aragon Foundation. And we also save the inputs and outputs in Excel, because once the Python will be executed, then there will be some outputs as automatic reports on PDF. Also, the complete time series along the year in CSV, but obviously a very graphic dashboard that you will see after on Excel, very intuitive for the user to get all the resume about simulations. The capabilities of HTP tool, it's to create scenarios across all the hydrogen value chain, because we know the importance to cover every step of the valleys or the possible projects that have the possible territories as you are, but also to enable the sizing, because we know the difficult about how to size different equipment, for example, fuel cell electrolyzers or storage, but also we wish to the territories the financial analysis, including investments, benefits about capex, opex, for validate the business model, and obviously as a resume to assess the feasibility of the entire hydrogen valley. We have split the tool, the hydrogen value chain, in 6 different parts, as you see. Here's the first one is obviously the hydrogen production, where we can select some different energy sources, and through an electrolyzer we will produce hydrogen. Obviously, storage and transport through pipelines, and after that the end users application that could be the road mobility through a hydrogen refueling station, the combined heat and power through a fuel cell for give to different buildings electricity and also heat, and other direct uses of hydrogen, as for example the blending point in the case of Green Hysland, or other that are under development. I will give the floor before all to Hydrogen Chile, to Ricardo Rodriguez, and he will present a little bit better the case of study.
Great, thanks Alberto, and hi to everyone, and thank you to the Green Hysland team for inviting us to showcase the Tierra del Fuego Island, which is a territory in Chile, and it's part of this program. The next slide, please. Well, I would like to introduce our organization, the Chilean Hydrogen Association, also known as H2 Chile. We began 7 years ago as a group of professionals dedicated to hydrogen research and consultancy. And our vision is to promote zero emission development in Chile and globally. And our mission is to accelerate the adoption of renewable hydrogen and its derivatives in society by fostering public and private collaboration. Next slide, please. So to date, H2 Chile unites more than 100 companies and professionals spanning the entire hydrogen supply chain from production to consumption. Next slide. Next. Now let me introduce to Tierra del Fuego, or Land of Fire in English, the focus of our case study. And in the previous slide, you can see the image of strong winds that are defining a defining characteristic of this island and shaping the trees in response to this force of nature. And Tierra del Fuego, as you can see in the map, is located at the southern tip of South America, near the Chilean sector of Antarctica. It is separated from the mainland by the Strait of Magellan, a tunnel that connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Next slide. The island has a low population density and administratively divided into 3 provinces, each with its own municipalities. The main towns are Porvenir, with a population of 7,570 people, Primavera in the north with nearly 700 inhabitants, and Timauquel in the south with fewer than 300 residents. In terms of size, the previous slide, please. Thank you. In terms of size, Tierra del Fuego spans approximately 25,000 square kilometers, which is comparable to the Galicia region in Spain, or about 5 times the size of the Balearic Islands. Next. Thank you. The primary economic activities on the island are sheep farming, fishing, and salmon farming, and oil and gas extraction. Next, please. And regarding energy, Tierra del Fuego benefits from its abundant oil fields, primarily offshore. Since the 1950s, the presence of the Chile's national oil company, ENAP, has led to significant investments in exploration and resource development, fostering regional industrialization. This industry brought with it the construction of infrastructure, pipelines, and other facilities necessary for oil and gas operations. And due to ENAP's presence, the region's harsh weather conditions, and its geographic isolation from the rest of Chile, natural gas is subsidized. Next slide, please. So each municipality on the island operates its own independent electrical system. The primary energy sources are natural gas the main source for electricity and heating, diesel used as a backup and in remote areas, and firewood for rural household heating. And in terms of the energy capacity and potential, the island energy potential is enormous. Tierra del Fuego has an estimated wind power potential of 50,400 megawatts. Its wind conditions are as consistent and as strong as the best offshore wind farms in the North Sea, but are located onshore, allowing for lower development costs. So based on wind power measurements, the island has an average plant factor of 50%, placing it among the most efficient wind generation zones globally. Next slide, please. Energy demand. The local energy demand in Tierra del Fuego is estimated at 423 gigawatts hour. Beyond residential and industrial uses, transportation, particularly road freight and ferry operations, represent a significant additional energy load. Next slide. And taking a look at transportation activities in the region, focusing on road freight and ferry transport, which represent significant energy demands and emissions. In terms of road freight in 2023, a total of more than 38,000 trucks crossed into the Argentinian territory through the San Sebastian border checkpoint, as you can see on the right of the map. And each trip covered an average distance of 375 kilometers. This activity resulted in an estimated annual diesel consumption of 5.3 million liters and more than 14,000 tons of CO2 emissions. And about ferry transport, in 2024, there were 14,540 ferry trips recorded across the Strait of Magellan. These trips consume an estimated amount of 2.85 million liters of diesel and produce 7,633 tons of CO2 emissions. So these figures highlight the importance of addressing emissions from transportation and exploring sustainable alternatives to reduce the region's carbon footprint. And finally, the next slide, please. Tierra del Fuego is a key location for developing green ammonia projects. There are 5 large-scale projects in progress, totaling nearly 12 gigawatts of capacity and potentially producing over more than 5 million tons of ammonia. These projects are at various stages, with one expected to enter into the environmental assessment service very soon during this year. And in conclusion, Tierra del Fuego offers exceptional conditions for developing hydrogen ecosystems. These projects come operative. If these projects come operative, the island's strategic location position the island as a hub for hydrogen production and transportation, supporting operations and export to different parts of the world. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ricardo, for the complete explanation about Tierra del Fuego, and now taking this case study as example to take all the parameters of the benefits that have this land for deploy a hydrogen project. I will give you a live demonstration of the tool. Returning to the map of Tierra del Fuego, that is the same that Ricardo presents, and do it a little bit zoom here. As you see, we was taking the opportunities that the location present in wind power to establish 2 different wind plants, but also as end user application, we have been defined the route mobility for cover this emission in diesel. Also a maritime station to support this electricity consumption and also to cover with a combined heat and power station the electricity and heat of a group of houses in Porvenir in the capital. Starting on the tool, this is the aspect of the main dashboard, and clicking on the first button of green hydrogen production. Here at the left side, we can define as you see the case of Chile. Entering here as inputs the different coordinates about latitude and longitude, and simulating the case we will taking on a complete year the data expected about energy generated, and also the second one of the power plant, and with all of this defining the electrolyzer, we will get the results of hydrogen production. We are keeping for the moment for our previous state the capex and opex information as default with generic values that can be valid for every territory. With this information, thus, if we scroll down, we will have the resume of the results that we have, for example, in this first approach. That it's we have here in a first step a resume of the inputs in this case with only 2 plants of wind power, with a total of 25 megawatts of production. And on the center of the screen, you will see the output with hydrogen production, water consumption, also the tons of CO2 per year that we are saving. And finally, at the last part here, the economic results, the LCOH, that we know it's very important to understand in its case what will be the hydrogen production cost. In this case, it can be a little bit higher, but will be take it, for example, because we don't have the PV plant and we are totally dependent the wind power of the region. In addition, following the economic results, we have other indicators, as for example the cash flow or the capex and opex results. And if we follow through the application, we have the hydrogen refilling station. We're here clicking on the different buttons to add the fleets for refill of hydrogen on the region, defining, for example, here the trucks with the name, the number of vehicles, and some technical specification about the vehicles, but also some examples. For example, for the case of the buses, and we have the distance that we propose between Porvenir and Cerro Sombrero, and taking the information of how many kilometers can be done by this type of vehicles. We will have a results of the hydrogen demand that these fleets will have along the complete year. And with all this information, in this case, taking two buses for between Porvenir and Cerro Sombrero, and 2 trucks for the truck line that Ricardo describes anteriority. We can click on the optimization of number of dispenser, and with complex calculus, we will have the results of how many dispenser we will need on our station for try to sizing the results without forced to wait more than 25 minutes for each vehicle that we consider is our threshold for warranty, no clock checks, keys. The same for the storage sizing. We have three kinds of storage. Obviously, the first one it's only dedicated for cars and will be a zero number of diesel of 900 bars, but for 500 bars and 300 bars for cover this fleet, we will have these results. After that, returning for our Explore application, here we have, as the same way as in hydrogen production, a little resume in terms of inputs, and also the main outputs as the same way that we see on the previous dialogue. Here, obviously, the economic results that will be in a very similar way with CapEx, OpEx, cash flow, return of investments, and payback period in years. And following the second end user application is the power supply by fuel cell. That's in this case we get the reference of a maritime station in Green Hysland for try to size a similar demand on Tierra del Fuego, putting a maximum consumption of 30 kilowatts. With this information, we will automatically size the fuel cell, and with that get the total hydrogen demand along the year that this system based on fuel cell will demand to the valley. Here the inputs is very similar as before described. The outputs in terms of hydrogen demand and CO2 equivalent saved per year, and also the economic results. In this case, important to recall the break-even price point of hydrogen. That for us it's important to understand if we are going to get some benefits on some revenue changing our unconventional application based on fuel to hydrogen. And yeah, finally the last of them, end user application, is very similar, but in this case more focus on the city of Porvenir, where we have decided to enter for a demonstration 100 homes for covered parts of the population consumption in the city, and taking a daily consumption basic and sizing the fuel cell. We also get the total energy, the total hydrogen demand along the year. Here we also have as feedback, as an output, the annual heat demand in kilowatt hour per year, in a difference of just fuel cell energy power supply. And in this case, as you see, the break-even price point of hydrogen has been in grid, because obviously we are getting more benefit from a kilogram of hydrogen, because we are taking into account also we are getting this heat power, not only the electricity. And with all this information, the thing that we return to the map of Tierra del Fuego. If we took all the different parts that we has been simulated on the tool, we will have the different inputs that we are putting on the application. The hydrogen production through 2 wind power plants and 1 stack of 6 megawatts and an electrolyzer. And here on the right side, the different inputs that we already seen. With all of this, returning to the results, we have a total production of 84 tons hydrogen per year. And if we sum the different demands, hydrogen demands, the different consumption, we'll have a total of 80 tons hydrogen per year. And then, as we can see, we can provide all the service. We can tend to cover all these different end user application with 2 little wind power plants of just 35 megawatts, taking the both power plants. And with that, we hope you understand the capabilities of the tool. I hope I has been enough clear for give the a global and a short point of view of the capabilities of the tool. As I mentioned before, we already develop other modules in terms of blending points, in terms of power production from photovoltaic or other kinds of end user application, as I was saying in the different slides. And if you have any question, please, we will answer your question at the end of the meeting. And any other tab or consult for this email contacts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alberto, for this presentation. It's very technical, but the tool, as you see, is super complex and super useful. So it also is also required this kind of technical presentation. And thank you for these clarifications indeed. So to sum up a bit, what we have done so far is basically we have presented to you the program to apply until the 16th of May, and this program will be launched in September. And then the idea is that through this program you will be able to access this tool, also to be able to be guided through this tool and to develop your specific islands context. We had an example of what Hydrogen Chile has done so far. We presented in the islands of the Terra del Fuego and all this information that were showcased at the beginning. Then Alberto has put them inside this tool, presenting what due to this capacity and for what would be also the hydrogen output and what the possible applications for hydrogen would be for that specific case study. And now we have the chance to ask any questions to our experts for both the application of this hydrogen tool and also the program itself. I saw one hand raised. I don't know if there are. You can now raise your hand or write in the chat. I saw one hand raised earlier. I don't know if this question is still. If you need still to have a question or it was a mistake. If not, I would ask maybe Guillermo if there are some questions from the chat. I've seen that there have been many questions and most of them have been answered to, but not all of them. So Guillermo, could you please let us know if there is anything relevant for our speakers?
Yeah, I think the person that wanted to ask before is not wondering anymore. So I think I can do a little summary of the questions that were presented during the presentations. There was a very interesting one from Wilco asking if the H2 plant can be visited. This obviously is has to be discussed with the project developer, and we can, if you have an interest in this, please email us at this email, and we will try to see what can be done on this front. Then I think there was a bit of confusion regarding the eligibility of the territory. So the other question was again regarding what type of territory is eligible for this program, assistance program. And I just want to remind you that the territory needs to be located on an island, so not on a peninsula, but on an island as per definition, and this needs to be on EU continent territory or any overseas country territory or outermost region that collaborates with the EU. So any certain territories in the Caribbean, I believe, can be eligible, but please, again, email us at this email and we can verify your eligibility. I don't think there were many more questions.
There is one last question that has just popped in from
just popped
Ugo.
up. Yeah,
exactly.
It just popped up.
I guess this question is maybe for you, Caterina, and but also Alberto, feel free to answer in case based on the needs for the tool. The question asks if because the Islands of Crash is already Shrest is already involved in a project which is a Hydrogen Valley project. I think it's the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley project. So does it make sense to apply for the support program, to the technical support program? We have still a lot of simulations, and I see that your HTTP tool could be quite useful. So can islands involved already in other projects first be eligible, and second, make the most out of this tool anyway, and maybe also in terms of the applications within their projects as well, if they already have something ongoing?
Yeah, I can take this one. So of course it very much depends on sort of the project you have in mind, because if you are part of an ongoing project, and we're familiar with the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley, it's quite a complex one, obviously, so I'm not quite sure how you are involved and then to what extent, but if your project idea is something that is outside the remit of that project, and that could help you develop either additional green hydrogen project capacity, producing capacity, or applications, then I think it could make sense. I think this would be good to verify by you describing in the expression of interest form what your project concept is, and perhaps to see what's already being covered by the NAF project and what could potentially be covered by the technical assistance program from Green Hysland, the one that we're discussing here today. In general, nothing speaks against, if you're already in another project, for you to apply to the program. So no problem with that. But of course, we want it to make sense, and we want for you to make sense for you as well. So we have to rely on you proposing a clear or relatively clear concept or project idea to us in your expression of interest form, and we can then, if there's any doubts that might come up, we can discuss that and see if it would make sense for you to put forward your application, or perhaps to withdraw it if it's not useful. But in principle, a basic answer, yes, feel free to put it forward, and your proposal, and we can then see if there might be any adjustments that might have to be made. But yes, indeed, the HTTP tool has the capacity to do simulations and different scenarios. So it could be something, if you're considering you have an idea, but you're not quite sure how you want to size it or what different applications you might to include in there. So it could be indeed a useful addition to your idea, because we can prepare different scenarios that you could go for to clarify your project idea. I don't know, Alberto, if you want to add anything from your end.
No, not specifically from my side.
Okay, thank you, Guillermo, also for sharing the link to the technical support program and the link to register for here. for that. And as I said, replying to the question of Emilia, for everyone, the slides will be accessible to everyone, will be sent within 2 weeks alongside this recording, and also the program page enlisting more information about it. But as we have our experts here more, and I would like to take the chance to really ask Alberto another question about the tool, because this tool is very, very interesting, very useful. If I were an island, what would be the main reasons why this tool, like the main reasons through which this tool can help me quantify the hydrogen applications. So how could this really help me in all, and what also could be the most challenging data that I should that I could not find in order to feed this tool? I repeat the question because it was a bit. What are the data that I could, as an island, struggle the most to find before using this tool, and in order to see all the applications that the hydrogen can have within my islands?
Yeah, obviously, I think the tool will provide better results in function on how much detailed is the data provided by the territory or the island. But in terms to help this island, we was trying to design the application for requires the minimum inputs for each module. And for example, the benefits that it have, I think, is to simulate different scenarios, to provide different options to the islands and understand what it fits better for the island. For example, in the case of Chile that we has been presented, it's very easy to change 2 buses and 2 trucks by, for example, 50 trucks and try to see the difference, simulate other options, and identify the big opportunities that the different islands have. And for that, I think it's very important also the job of Energy and Aragon Hydrogen Foundation to support this study, to support this calculus, because the studies and results will be supported by the tool with very complex calculus, but it's important to help to any possible island to understand these results, to help and guide through the application for get the most accurate inputs for the simulation. And I think it's a very big point of value that we can offer for that.
Thank you. We have one additional question, which is more specifically to with the Power to Green Highland Mallorca, for the Green Highland project in general. So they are asking if the injection into the gas distribution grid would be capped. So there is a specific percentage of hydrogen in the gas grid, and if there is plans to transition this distribution grid to 100% hydrogen, also considering like in the future. Would anyone of you be willing to take this question, which is more related again to the Green Highland project and not necessarily to the program or the tool itself? Maybe you, Katarina?
I can take
Okay.
part of it, and then maybe Katarina can give. I am sure that at the moment the blending is capped due to the capabilities of the equipment to utilize the gas. So obviously the gas turbines cannot run on 100% hydrogen yet, but obviously this has to be gradual. So I think there is plans to gradually increase it, but I'm not sure about the 100% hydrogen injection in the pipeline.
So we had also, and so basically, anyway, we cannot, we will not have as per definition that blending. It's not the only specific hydrogen pipeline is that towards the injection point, and after that it will be blended. So there is no future plan of upgrading that beyond. Anyway, but our current cap is until 20% maximum for the future. Thank you also for Melissa for sharing the article that we have produced. And if you have many information, if you are looking for many information about specifically Green Hysland, you can also indeed see the news of the webpage. Concerning other questions about specifically the tool. So the tool is based on the project of a Green Hysland project, which is indeed a hydrogen valley. If I'm an island and I would like to have to use the tool for a more limited project, maybe only specific applications, let's say for hydrogen, for industry, for steel, for instance, or other sectoral applications, as opposed to a hydrogen valley, which is more complex. And would there be any difference in these applications in how I can benefit from this? Can I still benefit even if I don't have a big project like a hydrogen valley, but only limited smaller applications?
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, the tool is quite specific in the sense that it can use different applications for hydrogen. So as Alberto was showing, and Albert, maybe I'll let you talk about the details. But basically, you can have different elements and you can just feed in different elements. So you don't have to have a very complex system that has, both transport and industry and, maybe any other kind of application that you may think of. It could be just a part of that or one of those. Alberto, I don't know if you want to comment as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. We have decided to split the value chain in 6 different parts because of this reason, because maybe there are some cases that is not needed to simulate the complete value chain for a very big project, and you can just simulate one by one the different modules. And for example, in the case of power supply, you can select you can define on the tool your own custom load profile, selecting the power along each point of the day and the year, and with then you can obviously enter what you want for that.
Perfect. So don't worry, you don't need to have necessity in your planning to build a hydrogen valley. You could apply to the program even if the project is smaller and has specific applications. So we have, I don't know if there are other questions coming from the chat for our experts. This is the last chance to ask them in case. And
there were a couple of questions on eligibility. I don't know if I should just quickly bring up the list of overseas countries and territories and outermost regions, just to clarify what regions are eligible to apply. So I saw there was a question from somebody from the Caribbean and Northern African regions were asking about eligibility as well. So let me just share what should be the hopefully complete list of overseas countries and territories that are eligible. So we have Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao, the Faroe Islands, French Polynesia, Greenland, Guadeloupe, New Caledonia, Saint Barthélemy, Saint Pierre and Miquelon, Samoa, St. Martin, Suriname, and Wallis and Futuna as OCTs that are eligible. And we have Guadeloupe, Martinique, French Guiana, Réunion, Mayotte, Azores, Madeira, the Canary Islands, Ceuta, and Melilla that are eligible as overseas regions. So hopefully this will be useful for people to see which islands are eligible. I don't know if the person who had the question on the North African island and the person who had the question on the Caribbean island has their question answered with this. If not, please feel free to raise the question again now. You can just raise your hand and we can answer.
I guess it's all clear, and thank you indeed for flagging this and showing the list, because I think it helps our audience to understand exactly if they are eligible or not. And that's very useful. So I guess if there are no other questions, we could also end the webinar here. And it's good. It means that we have answered all the questions also in the chat very efficiently, and that indeed.
Webinar de una herramienta de.
Can you please mute yourself? Thank you. So thank you to all the speakers and this opportunity for presenting the program and the tool, and all the information have been shared in terms of contact. Should you feel any difficulties filling the application form, for instance, so we are available in case you will have some issues with this filling to support you, with clarifications, of course. And that's it from our side. We can end the webinar here. Thank you for joining, and thank you to all the speakers for the presentations. Have a great afternoon, and hopefully we'll receive your application to our program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.